Hello, hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Random Talks when we talk about everything random and interesting topics that you like so that you can practice your listening skills. So, I'm Teacher David, as always. So, it's a pleasure to be here with you again. And with me, as usual, is my dear friend and colleague, Teacher Carlos.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Hello, hello. So, today we have a very interesting topic that is going to be related to arts. But before that, I would like Teacher Carlos to remind us all of our social media. Where can they find
Yes.
us?
Remember, guys, we are in almost every social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube as Columbus School BCS. Please go and follow us. And if you can, also share this podcast. It'll be very helpful for us and to share this amazing space that we are creating for you guys.
Yeah, that's right. So don't forget to leave us a comment as well. We would love to hear with you what you think about the podcast. Any topics that you would like us to talk about, that would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, we're really open to suggestions. We really like to read your comments and everything that you say.
All right. So, to introduce the topic today, I would like to start with a question for you, Teacher Carlos,
All right, let's go.
which is, what's your favorite expression of art?
Wow, that's a really nice question. Because art is a very wide, area, right? There's a lot
Yeah.
of things to cover, different ways of expressing art. It's a way
Mhm.
of demonstrating how we perceive the universe or any idea or feeling. So that's a hard question. I really like music. I really enjoy music, and I enjoy everything behind it. But there is something about plastic arts, specifically with paintings that I
Mhm.
really like,
Yep.
where they create a whole scenery. I really like this painting called "The Kiss" by
Mhm.
Gustav Klimt. I think
Okay.
that's the author. It's a really nice painting, and I don't know why it keeps my eyesight like very locked into the picture. So that would be probably it, right?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about
Great.
you?
For me, I think it's the same music first, but also theater. And it's funny
Oh
because you
yes.
can combine those two, and we have this expression which is musical theater, right? That
Oh yes,
combines
definitely.
everything together. So, talking about that musical theater and acting, we have today a very special guest, which I have the pleasure to meet several years back. So we have the insanely talented Sofía Martinez. Hello, Sofía.
Hi, thank you for having me today. Hi, David. Thank you, Carlos, Miori, and also David for inviting me to the podcast.
It's
I'm
our
really happy
pleasure.
to be here.
It's our
Yeah, it's
pleasure, definitely.
all pleasure to have you
And
with us.
yeah, and I mean, who doesn't love to talk about art? It's a very
Yeah.
beautiful topic to talk about. I think it's a topic that can connect you to any person because everyone likes some kind of art.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
it's
Now that you
beautiful.
mention, yeah, like as humans, I think that most of us have this urge to create something in some way, right? So as I mentioned, art is a very wide area of study, of work. So I don't know, it's like connecting to other people, right? Through
Yeah.
something else or something that goes further than senses, probably.
Yeah, and also everyone, we are born like the children are creative. We are like creative beings, and we have that, as
Yes.
you said, we have that need to express ourselves in any way. If it's photography, writing, like painting, anything, it's nice. And yeah, I have the great pleasure to meet David, for example, in theater. I think you meet a lot of interesting and nice people
Mhm.
in art.
Yeah, for sure. And now, something that you mentioned about children, and that I would like to ask you is, where does your uh, need for art, and where and when did you meet the arts? Like, when did you say, "Oh, this is what I want to do"?
Like the first contact,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Wow, like I've been dancing since I'm like 4 or 5 years, but not professionally. I just did it like for a hobby. Like after school, I was going, my mom was taking me to ballet and dancing classes. And I've always enjoyed it a lot, like much more than school itself. So I was loving my extracurricular activities. That was dancing, and it wasn't until I was 16 years, no, I was 14 actually, when my ballet teacher Daniela Pedrin, she did a musical here in La Paz, El Rey León, The Lion King, and
Oh,
she invited a lot of artists, local artists, and Fernando Musiño, like a acting director, and he was teaching us like acting workshops, and I started to how do you say, yeah,
Get involved in that.
to get involved in my emotions and that stuff. And I was like, wow, what is this that you can act and sing and do everything like at the same time? Because I didn't know that even existed. Because here in La Paz, like we are a little, a really little city, but we have like a lot of talent, and that's
yeah, yeah,
really
that's
true.
true.
Like there's like amazing people here, and I'm
Yeah.
sure of that. And after that, I did actually Sasu, like the bluebird in the Lion King. So I was like, I don't care it's singing as a bird, you know. It doesn't have, it doesn't have to sound like beautiful or anything. But after that, 2 years after, like she invited us again, and that's where I met David
Yes.
in Aladdin, the musical, and Daniela asked me to be Jasmine, like the princess. So I was like, no way, I cannot sing as a princess. No, there's no way. She was like, yeah, you're gonna train your voice and your body and everything. You will be ready, I'm sure. And you were like the perfect one for this role. And I was just shocked, but it was a really beautiful experience because it introduced me like to theater and to great artists from here, from La Paz too. And yeah, after that, I was still doing that as a hobby. I wanted to do like communications or something like that for the university,
Mhm.
because that really interested me, like talking in public or writing, whatever. Because I also like expressing myself, and I'm not afraid like to talk about how I feel or anything.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, and I've worked on it a lot also.
Yeah,
It,
no, you're mentioning certain things that really
mhm,
take my attention because I think that it's really important. The fact that you mentioned that it's kind of liberating for yourself to be able
totally, yeah.
to be able to express your feelings through certain area of art, right? It's a way to freeing yourself
Yeah.
from feelings or letting them out. So I think it's very important. And now that you mentioned that you started at 14 years old, right? So
Yeah,
that's a very important part of human development where we need specifically to find somewhere to cling on to see that or to feel that we are good at, right?
some passion, right? Mhm,
Yeah, yeah, and it's
mhm.
defining, that age is defining because I mean, think about it. What do you think it would have happened if you hadn't had the opportunity to be in this space of theater, for
Yeah,
example?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I guess it's life. Like it takes you like to different directions,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
would where you never expected like to go before. And yeah, I don't know if David, you want to share something about the musical, or what do you like about the
Well,
workshops?
well, first of all, I would have to agree with you that you were the perfect girl for that role.
Oh,
There you go.
Because if you had
thank
the
you.
opportunity, anyone who is listening to us or watching us, if you had the opportunity to watch the musical or to see the musical, she was perfect. She was like Princess
Oh,
Jasmine all along,
Yeah,
right? Like her
you were the one.
personality, yeah, her personality, everything
thank
fit
you.
in their role. And yeah, I think that, as you mentioned, I think Daniela Pedrin has been someone who is really into opening the arts here in La Paz because,
Totally,
as you said, Sophie, we are a very little city, but we are filled with talent.
totally.
Yes.
Mhm. And that's something that Daniela Pedrin has known how to take advantage of,
Totally.
um, to create spectacular things. And we're talking about like
huge
something,
musicals. Yeah,
yeah, huge musicals, like getting the rights to do it, getting the right people. Like we had an orchestra, like
the
a live
magic,
orchestra.
the magic carpet, the chorus,
Carpet, yes.
Yeah,
everything.
we're talking about Disney right here.
We
Like,
like
Yeah.
flied in the
Mhm.
in
Like
the
really
stage.
flying. So it's something really good that people are doing this and are allowing different people to express themselves even through acting, theater, music, dancing, and putting all of that together. It's something like for me really really beautiful.
remarkable. Yes.
Totally. And it's also something really difficult right now because it was really nice to have this huge like theater classes with a lot of people and just pass next to the other
Mhm.
without even caring of anything, you know. And now everything has to be like online or with the mask, and it's difficult, but we still have to find a way to express ourselves. And I think it's that's really good because we can do it like anywhere. The arts, you can do it in your own room, in by yourself,
Mhm.
writing, expressing your emotions, or watching a movie, whatever.
Yeah, 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 that's right. So, uh-huh.
And okay, what was your question?
No, 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 you go, you go.
Okay, like after the musical,
Mhm.
if I tell you about my talking about my past, like I started to okay, I started singing classes with Lidia Calderon, who is my singing teacher until now, and she's like amazing. Actually, her and she and her husband have like,
Mhm.
do you lost me or do you hear me?
No, we can hear you still.
Wait,
It's like a little slow. It's slow down a little bit.
Yeah, but we still can hear you. Just the image is not very good.
Can you
Oh,
hear
now
us?
we lost her. I think.
All right, let's put the ping, 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 ping. I'm gonna go like this. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. No worries. This happens often.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
live, right?
Yeah. So,
And as she was telling, she has had the opportunity to work with really really high caliber people.
mhm.
Like she mentioned, Lydia, who is an amazing vocal coach and singer, like opera singer.
Guess
Um,
who's back?
yeah.
Back again.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
oh, I think I think you lost me, right?
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem. It's quite normal
part of the
nowadays.
technology.
You were
Yes.
some you were saying something about opera singer.
Yeah, that you have had the opportunity to work with Lydia, who is like this huge talented opera singer, right?
Yeah, like her, she and her husband,
Hmm.
like they've been my teachers,
Hmm.
my mentors in
Yep.
this career. Like I'm really grateful that I found them because they still like teach me like everything. They are my life teachers and my art, singing, acting. Her, her husband now it's giving me like acting classes, like
Hmm.
one-to-one coaching, and
Yep.
it's really amazing.
Hmm.
So I met them when I was 16 and I started going to lessons, and but just like once a week because I wasn't that like, I didn't know that the voice could have like this huge training and
Yep.
background that you have to really study like music, like musical reading, read a lot about musicals, theater, everything,
Yeah.
and also sing and train like the vocal air, the everything, the
Very
connection,
technical, right?
a lot. And after high school, I went to study English in Cambridge, England.
Hmm.
Wow.
All right.
It was like an amazing experience. And there, when I first arrived there, I studied English like before, but
Mhm.
just when I arrived there, I noticed that
Something
okay,
was
my
done.
internet is going here.
All right, very good. It seems like to have like a certain period of time. The good part is that she gets a little sign right there that do we have you back?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my internet is like awful.
The new normal, guys.
No, no worries. It happens all the time. No worries.
Uh, I just forgot what I was saying. I think I was saying
The
Yeah,
I went to study
about
English,
studying,
right?
yeah.
yeah, you were studying English at Cambridge.
Yeah, so I arrived there, and it was an English school that it's not that popular here in Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
So when I arrived there, there was just people like from all over the world, but not Spanish spoken, like
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
people,
Spanish speakers. Mm-hmm.
uh speakers. So I was like, okay, I really need to learn this language in order to talk to people. And then I studied a lot, and I took a IELTS certificate
Mm-hmm.
because I said like someday I'll need it because
Yeah.
I want to have like just this certificate. But when I was there, I started to go to musicals in London, like to West End
Yeah.
musicals,
Mm-hmm.
which was like a great experience. I was going with, like by myself to all of these performances, because if you go by yourself, then the day of the performance there are like few tickets like that
Mm-hmm.
are left, and they
Yeah.
give it to you like cheaper, or you have like opportunity to watch like more musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So I met Mexicans that were on those like huge stages. First of all, I went to watch Isaac Hernandez.
Yes.
I don't know if you know, he's a ballet dancer. If
Yep.
you don't know him,
Mhm.
Carlos, or someone, he won the Benoit de la Dance, which is a super important like
Nice.
ballet award. And I went to see him in the Swan Lake doing like the leading role in a huge stage in London. So it was like crazy with the orchestra like live with
Yeah.
classical music. So it's crazy. And I went backstage because I was that theater kid
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I was going always like to backstage to have like an opportunity to talk to these artists or to ask them like whatever, like what do you do to be here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I went and I met him, and the great thing that happened there where I met Isaac, apart from meeting him, I met a friend of a friend of him
Mm-hmm.
that her name is Gabriela Garcia, and she's the first Mexican like in the West End, which is West End is like Broadway, but in London,
Mm-hmm.
she's the first Mexican to do like leading roles in the West End, and she was doing Maria in West Side Story. West Side Story is one of my favorite musicals. It's super beautiful, the music and everything from Leonard Bernstein. And I met Gabriela, and I went for a coffee with her because I was this crazy girl, and I asked her
Mm-hmm.
like, can we go to have a coffee or something? But this is the way you have to be, like you
Yeah.
really have to be open in arts. And
Mm-hmm.
actually people is really kind when you show up kind and with an open heart, people's gonna be kind to you. And she was like, yeah, like we can go for a coffee. So we went there, and I asked her like, wow, what did you do? And she was like, well, I studied
A
super
lot.
hard, a lot. Like since I was six, she told me like since I was 16, I started to study like so much, like crazy. Every day you have to train this, read, look at movies, look at this. I was like, wow, like a little bit scared, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I I've never done like that professionally before. It was just a hobby for me. So I was like, I think I can do it. Like, I think I want to do it, because every time I went to a performance, I was so excited that I was like, I just want to be there. You know, when you watch
Mm-hmm.
something where you want to be that person,
Yeah, exactly.
living that emotions.
Yeah, I mean,
And
we
yeah, so
we can see that in your face. It completely it lights up when you talk about it. Definitely.
Yeah.
So we can tell that there's a
totally,
passion behind it. And
totally.
it's funny how you mentioned that you have to be open in order to make contacts. At the end of the day, the first contact that you had with the language was trying to communicate with your partners, because you knew that you
Mhm.
didn't have, for example, Spanish as a common language to speak, so you had to learn English, right?
Yeah,
So I think that, would you say that it helped you to be open? Because this is something that we mention all the time to our students or listeners, that you have to put yourself out and speak the language, even though you make mistakes, even though you have certain difficulties at the beginning. So would you say it helped you to be that open with the language?
totally. I was really judgmental with
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like I was judging myself a lot. And before, with everything I said, with everything I do, but then with art you have to let it go, like really you have to learn every day, have to not judge yourself at anything. And also when I was talking English at the beginning, it was super hard for me, or I just couldn't express myself as well as in Spanish, of course. Like
Mhm.
that that can happen, but like you have to really study it. And yeah, it helped so much, because yeah, after I met her, I was able to do like auditions in English for a school in America that I wanted to go, because I said like if I want to do this, I have to do it like abroad,
Mhm.
because I was dreaming like huge, like big, since I met these people in these stages. I was like, this can happen, like
Yeah, it's possible.
this is possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't know if you're gonna agree with me, but I think that knowing English or any other language uh, opens your resources, right? Because, for
so much.
example, if we didn't speak English, we wouldn't have the opportunity to watch Broadway shows or
Yep.
Mhm.
understand certain plays or understand certain vocabulary that you need in the show business, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Or
that it
the
opens your
or
resources.
the the music also,
Yeah. Hmm. Of
like a
course,
lot
of
of
course.
music right now it's done in English.
Yeah. So, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're doing right now? Like, how did you decide
Yeah.
to study that or to go to that specific school?
Well, when I was there and I was looking for schools online by myself all the time. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Um, yeah, I was doing like auditions. I just auditioned actually for one school because at that moment I had a back pain like really bad.
Hmm.
But still with this pain, I was like, I want to do it. Like, I don't care if I'm injured, I will heal. I was sure I was gonna heal. So I decided to take a step and do an audition. And this school for musical theater wasn't asking for a dancing audition. And at
Okay.
that moment of my life, I wasn't dancing. I was just training like singing and acting. So I
Hmm.
was like, okay, that's perfect. I will audition. And the audition was in English. And I did a Shakespeare like monologue. I
Okay.
chose
Amazing.
the
Hmm.
hardest thing. I didn't even know like that was the hardest like theater stuff, but I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Hmm.
And I did it in my own accent, I think. And also I did a song from Maria from West Side Story, which is
Hmm.
I Feel Pretty. It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's a super fun song. And after that, I went to they accepted me and they gave me like part of a scholarship, which was really useful, and I was really like grateful. My father also.
Hmm.
So I went to LA, and this school is AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy, which is in Hollywood. And it was crazy, crazy, crazy. It was a total difference that from London. That in London, I was expecting to go like to the same place. In London, everyone's like super kind and everyone's open-minded. In Europe, the people is like, wow, they know
Hmm.
like, hi, I know 4 languages. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
barely know English.
The big step, right?
Yeah, super huge. And LA was completely different, like crazy. I don't even know how to explain it, but like every person was like in their own like worlds,
Hmm.
and people is like focused on their stuff. They're not gonna stop and ask you like how do you feel or things like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has like a mask on, and that's Hollywood. That's not arts, because I mean in arts you're gonna find at the end like the people that really matches
Of course.
your energy and your way of thinking and everything. But this school was great. At the beginning, I made a friend that was Mexican also, and we were in the same classrooms. And we had another friend that was Mexican, but she lived in the US for her whole life. So she was like translating everything to us, like the jokes or
Hmm.
stuff like that. We never understood that on classes. We were like, what did they say? Yeah. But living abroad, living there really helped like with the accent and listening to people. Also, I was taking like separate, they did like little workshops for
Hmm.
accent, like general English like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
accent to perfection your pronunciation
Yeah.
in, and it's like a lot when it comes to pronunciation, because in theater movies everything you have to be perfect, like the
Mhm.
s, or when the s sound like a z
Like a
or
Z.
like an s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It
That.
was a lot, but it was fun. Hmm.
Yeah, that probably improved your pronunciation a lot. Like, and besides practicing, right? You were in a situation in which you were immersed into the language, so it kind of forced you to practice it,
Hmm.
right, and hear it all the time. So yeah, there we go. That is something that we always try to do with students all the time. Try to create this environment in which they are surrounded by English all the time, and they are very comfortable with themselves speaking English. So
Yeah,
that's
that's nice.
something that is key for learning the language and developing the speaking, feeling good with yourself, and uh, yeah, accepting the fact that you are learning and that you are going to be like making mistakes, but
Hmm.
it's the right
Totally.
path, right?
Yeah, I wasn't really good at grammar.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I asked one day an aunt that lives in the US, like, how do you do with grammar? And she told me, like, okay, a friend of mine speaks super well English, and she told me like she started to read, just read in English like a lot. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And I started to read more in English, and that made me really
What?
understand like
Yeah.
how
Hmm.
the words are connected, how the phrases are created. You start to match them in your head, and it
Yeah.
gets like way easier.
Hmm.
And also I started to do my journal like in English,
Yeah.
so that I
Hmm.
was able like to express in English my emotions.
Yeah.
And that's
Writing.
really
There
like
you go.
that's that's a really good thing. I really recommend that
And a really good
to.
tip. Yeah.
Yeah, the four skills. There you go. Speaking, writing, listening, everything.
Cool. Yeah.
Everything
Yeah,
together.
four skills. Awesome.
So, so before we
Totally.
go, Sophie, I would like to congratulate you because you
Yeah.
are so driven by your passion, and I really respect that in a person. Um, because it shows that you love what you do and know what you want to become, and being so young, that
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
another plus that you have, and I want to congratulate you on that.
It's
And
encouraging.
thank you.
yeah, it's really encouraging that the people that are listening to us or that are watching us, they can see that you can achieve it
It's
if
possible.
you put your mind into it, if you put
Mhm.
your work into it,
Your heart.
your heart as
Your
well.
heart.
You can achieve it, right? So the last question that I would like to ask you is, what would be your advice to all of those people who want to study abroad, especially in an artistic career? Like, what's your advice for them?
My advice is to really like train the language, as I told you, like really be able to express it in writing or listening a lot, and watching like a lot of movies helps a lot.
Mhm.
Also music, like any type of music, even if you don't love it, like
Mhm.
rock, rock, punk, whatever, you have to be like full of, I don't know how to say in English, but like full of
The language,
everything.
right? Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, of music and of everything that surrounds it. And also, yeah, I'm not gonna say like work hard, because that's the advice like everyone gives
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
you all the
Mhm.
time, and you really do have to work hard, but you have to have the discipline and to do it every day with an open heart,
Yeah.
even if it's not, even if it's a bad day, because we all have like sometimes like really bad days when everything's going bad, but you still have to do it, because arts, it's a discipline. And
Yes.
like if you want to become an actor, you have to do your exercises and look at your emotions every day. If you want to become a singer, you have to do the breathing exercises and the musical reading, even if not, it's not your favorite thing to be like doing like, oh, like just air exercises,
Hmm.
right? Even if it's not super fun. So I would say, yeah, you just have the courage
Hmm.
to never quit, because that
Mhm.
happened actually to me last year.
Yeah.
I wanted to quit the career like totally. I was like, I don't know in which world did I
Hmm.
enter, but I was like, I had a breakdown in my life. But this year totally evolved me in
Mhm.
the artistic way, in my way of looking at the arts and accepting that, okay, you're not gonna be the leading ballerina dancer in the Royal Opera House, but you can be somebody like with your tools and with
Mhm.
your work. And about encouraging people, I also started to give like theater and dancing classes to little kids
Mhm.
and to teenagers here in my house, like in the terrace. I have an open space, and I started to do this in the afternoons because I just wanna share it. And I think that's something, if you like arts and if you have taken like a lot of classes, you gotta stop like passing the information.
Yeah,
Like
Yes.
you
right.
can't keep it like for yourself.
Mhm.
All
Really,
right.
really useful and really
Mhm.
beautiful what you said. Thank you so
Yes,
much
it
for
is definitely.
Thank you
yes.
for letting me
No, it's our
share this.
pleasure.
Anytime. Anytime that you
It's
want to come
inspiring,
back,
actually.
feel
Thank
free.
you.
Feel free to
Yeah,
come back.
whenever you need someone to talk
Yeah,
about arts
that'll be
or
awesome.
whatever, I'm here. Mhm.
All right, very good.
All right. Well, that's going to be it, guys, for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we go, Teacher Carlos, can you remind us again where can they find us?
Yes, yes, guys, please don't forget we are on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Go follow us, share us, and let your friends know that we are talking about several topics. And also share with us your ideas, any suggestions, anything that you are thinking about or that you want to hear from, or anyone that you want to suggest being in this podcast. We are open to all of those suggestions. It's always a pleasure to have such amazing people here. So there you go.
Yeah. Don't forget to find us as Columbus School VCS, and we'll
Yes.
see you back in next episode. All right.
Right.
Bye bye.
Bye.